Hi there, Chris, Trapping the Camp Moto Legends. Today I want to talk to you about a new two-piece suit from Rukka. The jacket is known as the Pathfinder, the matching pant is the Roda. When Sarah and I set up Moto Legends, it was with a view to becoming the kind of retailer that we'd hoped to find, but actually never did. We wanted to become the kind of retailer of motorcycle clothing that would tell customers the way it was. A retailer with a kind of integrity to tell someone that a garment was not right for them, even if the better option was a less expensive one. And in fact, I think we do that here a lot in the shop. If somebody really wants to spend more, then fine. But we will never try and sell something more expensive just to get a bigger sale. We take the view that if we do the right thing by a customer, they will come back and probably tell other people about their experiences here. What that means, however, is that we have to apply the same kind of thinking to everything we do. So that's social media, email bulletins, videos, blogs, the lot. And that's why we have no qualms talking about the issues with a product. The way we see it, we have to let people know the strengths and weaknesses of a product. Only then can they decide what's best for them. Bearing in mind, of course, that what is a weakness for one person may not be a weakness in that product for another. We never set out to be gratuitously rude about any product we sell, obviously, but we just feel compelled to tell it the way we see it, warts and all. Of course, this approach doesn't always endear us to everybody. Some motorcyclists who have perhaps invested in a particular garment will occasionally get upset because we appear to have disparaged the item that they've just purchased. Some retailers feel the same. They will have invested in a line and then they will see our video where we say we don't think that it's particularly good, perhaps. Worst of all, we sometimes offend our suppliers, and our suppliers sometimes even feel that we've been disloyal to them. But that's not the way we see it. There is someone who is right for every product out there. Our approach is merely to try to find the right people for that product and perhaps forewarn those who aren't right for it. Anyway, that's a typically long-winded Moto Legends way of saying that we're going to give you our honest opinion about the Rukka Pathfinder jacket and its matching Roda trouser. In other words, we're not just going to give you a sales pitch. Now, we know the Rukka range as well as anybody, I suppose. We sell a fair amount of it and we get to learn firsthand the views of lots of motorcyclists. And so even though this particular outfit is new, we know exactly what the Pathfinder is and why Rukka produced it. We're going to explain all of this and why you might or might not want to buy into it. Only then will we go into detail on the spec, because frankly, that's the least interesting part of the proposition. The new Pathfinder and its matching trouser, the Roda, are made using a drop liner membrane, constructed using a drop liner membrane. Many therefore will not countenance buying it, but people would be wrong to come to such a conclusion, because actually 90% of motorcyclists would be better off in a drop liner outfit. Drop liner outfits tend to be more reliable, they are warmer, they're more comfortable. On a pari passu basis, they are less expensive. A drop liner outfit could of course wet out if you find yourselves riding in heavy rain for 4 or 5 hours, but very few of us will actually find ourselves riding in such conditions. And on the rare occasions where we do, then a cheap waterproof is the very simple answer. Now, Rukka already produced the best drop liner suit on the market, and it's the Comfo-R. Its membrane comes from Gore-Tex, and what that means is that you get guaranteed waterproofing for life. It's pretty well vented, and it comes with Rukka's huge level 2 armour throughout, and of course all the other refinements that you'd expect from Rukka. But what makes the Comfo-R such an exceptional suit is the stretch that's woven into the outer fabric. It is simply the most comfortable Gore-Tex jacket that money can buy. But this level of comfort comes at a price, and the price is a single A rating under EN 17092. Now, contrary to what some people think, EN 17092 is not a safety standard. It is not a predictor of how well a garment is going to protect you in the event of an accident. EN 17092 is just really an elaborate abrasion test. But as we spoke about in a recent video, it is not sliding down the road that usually causes a serious injury. It's hitting things that does. And what protects us when we hit things is the body armour in the garment that we're wearing. And the armour in the Comfo-R is just the best. And so we can be confident that the Comfo-R is going to be more protected than just about any other AA rated suit on the market, and indeed more than some AAA rated suits. Now, don't want to confuse everybody, but there is another issue here. The large level 2 armour in the Comfo-R will also significantly increase the garment's abrasion resistance. And that's why, for us, the Comfo-R suit not only combines the highest level of comfort, but also the highest level of protection. But in truth, Rukka was concerned that because of the A rating, some people just wouldn't buy into the Comfo-R. And so they decided to create, in essence, what was a double A rated version of the Comfo-R. And that's basically what the Pathfinder and its matching Roda trouser is. The Pathfinder, in other words, this jacket, is very, very similar to the Comfo-R in most respects. Differs in a few minor respects, but in one major one. The Pathfinder does not contain any stretch. There's no stretch woven into the outer chassis of the garment, and that means that it's going to be less comfortable to wear. The upside for Rukka, however, was that by removing the stretch, because what stretch does, it weakens the strength of a fabric. By removing the stretch and by adding layers of 1500 denier Cordura here on the shoulders and the elbows, as opposed to the 500 denier Cordura that you got on the Comfo-R, they were able to accredit the Pathfinder at the AA level. And that's basically, I suppose, the trade-off here. The Comfo-R is more comfortable but A rated. The Pathfinder is less comfortable but AA rated. The choice is yours. For us, of course, the Comfo-R would win every day of the week, and that's because we don't care particularly about the A rating for the reasons we've mentioned, but we do care a lot about comfort. Now, the other differences between the two jackets are pretty insignificant. Right now, the Comfo-R costs £750 and the Pathfinder is £650, so it costs, say, £100 less. But the Pathfinder does not come with a back protector, and that alone would add £90 to the jacket. Also on the Pathfinder, you get absolutely no vents and you don't get a storm collar, which does come as standard on the Comfo-R. So comparing the two jackets side by side, one would have to say that the £750 for the Comfo-R represents better value, which means that really you've only got one decision. Do you want the extra comfort of a jacket, which will make it more wearable every time you go out, or do you want to go for a jacket that is more abrasion resistant? It's the same story with the Roda trouser, really. The stretch in the Comfo-R pant makes them one of the most comfortable motorcycle trousers that you'll ever buy. The lack of stretch in the Roda, plus the heavier 1500 denier Cordura overlays on the hips and the knees, mean that the trousers are going to be less comfortable, but again, as with the jacket, they are accredited to the AA level. Again, the differences between the two pants, the Comfo-R and the Roda, are pretty minimal. On the Roda, you only get one zip pocket here. On the Comfo-R, you get two. The Roda, however, has absolutely no venting. On the Comfo-R, you get vents up the sides on the thighs. The Comfo-R comes with piping that runs up the seams of the pants. You don't get any piping here on the Roda trouser. And the Roda trouser doesn't even get the anti-glide system that's in the seat of the pant that stops you sliding around on the saddle. Yes, the Roda pant is a little bit less expensive. It's exactly £500 as opposed to the £580 of the Comfo-R, but we feel that you are potentially sacrificing a lot for that saving of £80. You are gaining an extra A on the label, as it were, but we take the view that that's not a big deal. Perhaps, however, that's just us. Going to zip through the details of the suit fairly quickly because in truth it is just detail, and you can find all on our website if that's of interest to you. Jacket first. You get level 2 armour in the shoulders and the elbows. You've got a pocket for a back protector, but it does not, as I've suggested, come as standard. You've got zip vents that run up the side of the flanks here, the same as you get on just about every Rukka jacket. I think I did mention earlier on, or I suggested, that the Pathfinder didn't have any vents at all. I'm sorry, what I meant was it has no exhaust vents on the back of the jacket in the way that the Comfo-R has. Obviously, it does have these vents that run up the side, and Rukka reckon that these work pretty well. You've got two external pockets here on the jacket, and you've got two more inside the jacket. You've got adjusters here at the hem of the jacket to enable you to cinch it in a little bit tightly. You've got adjusters here at the end of the sleeves to be able to tighten the end of the sleeve over a glove, and you've also got volume adjusters here on the biceps. You've got a crotch strap if you want to secure the jacket, but don't for whatever reason want to zip in. Clearly the jacket also has a zip that will enable you to attach it to any Rukka pant. The collar is lined with neoprene. Now, the neoprene makes it particularly comfortable because neoprene is nice against the neck, but the neoprene soaks water if you're in the rain and the water runs down the helmet and tries to find its way into the jacket. You also get a 60-gram removable thermal liner in the jacket. Now the pants. Again, level 2 protectors on the knees and on the hips. You get a single zip pocket. You've got long zips that go down to the bottom of the legs that are going to enable you to wear these pants over any taller touring boot. You've got Velcro bands also at the ankle that are going to enable you to cinch the hem of the leg around the boot. The pants come with attachments for braces, but the braces are not included. What you do get, you don't get the anti-glide system, but you do get the air cushion system in the seat that adds comfort when you're sat on the bike, but also a degree of breathability that also helps waterproofing. As with the jacket, you get a removable 60-gram thermal liner. Here at Motor Legends, we often take a different view to your average motorcycle apparel retailer. In most shops, somebody will come around from the counter, they will look at the labels in the garment, and they will tell you, therefore, that because it says AA, that the Pathfinder jacket and the Roda trouser are going to be more protective than the Comfo-R. But our view would be that the Comfo-R is still very protective, more than sufficiently protective, and much nicer to wear. Remember, a Rukka A-rated suit is going to be much more protective than just about any AA rated outfit on the market, and that's on account of its huge level 2 armour. This armour will give you much improved protection in the event of an impact when you hit something, but as we always point out, the size of Rukka's armour will also play a significant role in a garment's abrasion resistance. Here at Motor Legends, we always bang on about the importance of passive safety, about being comfortable on the bike, and comfort is indeed a key consideration, because if you're comfortable on the bike, you'll be riding to the best of your ability and you'll put yourself in a position where you'll be better able to avoid an accident in the first place. In terms of these two outfits, I think the price differential is barely going to be a consideration. The Comfo-R comes in presently at £1,380 and the Pathfinder and Roda trouser come in at £1,150. But I do think you need to bear in mind that for that saving, you are sacrificing some quite important bells and whistles. Bear one thing in mind, however, we have no particular axe to grind. We sell both suits. There's no advantage to us either way. But we do this for a living and we know how important comfort is when you're riding. And we have seen how well A-rated Rukka suits have fared. Suits like the Nivala and the Comfort have fared in accident situations. I suppose we might be more reticent, in fact we would be more reticent about recommending other people's A-rated suits because the difference, as I've mentioned now several times, the difference with a Rukka suit is the huge level 2 armour. If you want protection and comfort, we feel still that the Comfo-R is the best suit for 90% of riders. We'd recommend it over any other suit. Of course, one might point to the possibility with both of these suits, both the Pathfinder and the Comfo-R, that both of them could wet out. And in 4 or 5 hours of rain, that's certainly a possibility. But for me, the last time that happened, and I do, 5,000 or 6,000 miles a year, the last time that I was in a situation where my jacket really wetted out was over 10 years ago. It just does not happen all the time. It does not rain every day. And as ever, if you carry with you a set of Scots or a waterproof outer, you can create a scenario, you can create a solution that is better than a laminated jacket. For all kinds of reasons, other people might not agree with our conclusions, but if you're not sure, come in and look at both suits. We would say one last thing, however, about both suits. If you take the price between £1,200 and £1,300, both suits represent, in our view, fantastic value for money. You get the best armour, you get the best quality of construction, you get a 6-year warranty, and with both suits you get guaranteed waterproofing for life. In the long term, you simply won't get better value. If you'd like to see more Rukka gear, I suggest you visit the website motorlegends.com. If you want to learn more about the Pathfinder and its matching trouser, the Roda, then I suggest you click on one of the links on the screen. Sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there. That will take you directly to the relevant pages on the website. There you can check out availability, you can check out the spec in a little bit more detail, and of course if you want to buy the suit you can do that there and then. Now when you buy from us, we try to make the process as simple, straightforward and risk-free as we possibly can. There's no delivery charge on any item of protective wear that you buy from us, returns are totally free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. we have the best price promise in the business. Now, John Lewis used to be rightly famed for its never knownly undersold price promise. We go one stage better. If you can find anyone selling anything that we sell at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat that competitor's price by a full 10%. Now, there are a few terms and conditions that associated with what we call our price beat. So if you are going to price beaters, I suggest you go over to the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. If in the future you'd like to receive email bulletins from us about new products, then if you go to the top of the page on the website, there's a piece of script there that says newsletter sign up. Click on there, within seconds you'll be in business. If, however, you prefer to get your information videographically, that's to say in this form, we'd be simply delighted if you want to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. Finally, I'd like to make mention of our fabulous little shop here at Motor Legends. We're based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station. And as I've suggested, this shop is small, it's got a small footprint, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have more than £4 million of motorcycle apparel arranged over 3 stores. That technically makes this the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the UK. But we think we are far more than just the amount of merchandise we have here in the building. We are all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. When you come to see us, we'll serve you only the finest Italian elite coffee, or we'll serve you proper Yorkshire tea in a proper teapot. And who knows, if you're lucky, you might even get to sample one of our delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.